and more. I will restore to you all of this and more. Oh yeah, thank you, Lord.
So what happens when life gives you both the unexpected and unwanted? When everything that was normal yesterday becomes like a distant dream? How do you handle it? Baby Ethan's Getting Better Every Day gives you a glimpse inside the life of a family that receives an unfavorable medical diagnosis of its newest family member. In just one day, every normal routine and ritual gets overturned with efforts in getting baby Ethan the care needed for his fight for life. This framework of faith and small part of the Yon family's journey will give you the highs, the lows, and the real of life as they face the 3-day death sentence of their child, Ethan, and the days that follow. To get your copy in paperback or to download the Kindle version, visit Amazon.com and search for Baby Ethan's Getting Better Every Day. This book by Pastor Eddie L. Yon is sure to encourage and inspire you. Baby Ethan's Getting Better Every Day. Pick up your copy today.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another broadcast of Restoring Your Glory. This is Pastor Eddie L. Yon, and there I got with me Pastor, Bishop, Deacon, Elder, Dr. Charles W. Evans Sr. from Mount Zion A.M.E. Church, Madison County. How you doing, Doc?
Doing good.
And we've been just chopping it up on the show. We've had some broadcast difficulties, all this stuff. We got all that fixed up now, but we've been discussing the grace of God, and this started with the phone conversation we had regarding the grace of God. You know, what is the grace of God? The grace that we use, the grace we abuse. It's so powerful, so awesome. So I wanted you to kind of kick off with us. Talk to me about the grace of God, Doc. What you got?
Yes, the grace of God is God unmerited favor toward us. And of course, according to the book of Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, 8th verse, we are saved by grace. And not of ourselves. You can't work for it. You can't earn it.
Yep.
It's undeserved. It's just God favor toward us, and the fact that He looked beyond all of our faults, and He saw our need, and mankind desperately could not live or keep the law, and thank God for His favor.
Yeah. Because I tell you, you know, Doc, as we were talking about His grace, His goodness, and there are so many aspects of His grace, that unmerited favor. And when I studied it out, that grace comes in so many forms.
Yes.
You know, that it actually, when you were talking about, you have pastor friends who you call, if you have something going on, you call them, and in some cases, one of them called you, saying, okay, well, what's going on? That's the grace of God. We don't deserve that.
Yes.
But God's goodness and love shows up to remind us that He loves us. He's interested in us. So tell us about that moment when your pastor friend called you out of the blue. It's like, how did that go down? What happened there?
Yeah, he was in Pensacola, Florida, and of course, I was in Madison, and I hadn't heard from him in a while, and so one Friday night he called me and he just said, I was in prayer tonight, and the Lord brought you and your family up before me, and He just asked what was going on, and I told him, I said, well, my wife has been kind of under the weather. She's gone to the doctor, and he said, well, the Lord told me to tell you, you're not in it by yourself. I've raised up people all around you praying for you. And anyway, she started chemo that following Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah, and she went through 10 treatments of that, and she lost 86 pounds. But the following week, I went over to Greenville Chemical fertilizer, and this is really basically white Christians that own the place, and I hadn't told them anything that was going on, and but somehow they knew, and one of the ladies said, Charles, how's Margie? Me and my group praying for her. I was at the drugstore in Madison counting pills one day, and another lady who don't look like us came in and said, I was in prayer today, and the Lord brought your wife up before me. And so thank God that God restored her and raised her up. And different people, and in fact, my wife's testimony was that at certain times she was so sick, felt so bad, she couldn't keep anything down, and she could feel the prayers of the saints praying for her and holding her up. And of course, since then, she's gone through another type of cancer, had to go through 8 treatments of radiation. The Lord restored her through that, gone through 31 treatments of radiation for a small lump, and the Lord brought her through that. And we just praise God and give God all the glory. And sometimes when we are faced with sickness and disease, we learn what the Lord told me when she was sick the first time. He said, I was coming from the airport. She had to go out to Texas. The Lord said, my word now, that's the 119th Psalm, the 8th and 9th verse. My word is settled forever in the heaven.
Yes, sir.
And he said, I need somebody in the earth to just confirm it, just speak it and declare it so I can confirm it in heaven. And so I just stood on the promises of God and called those things that be not as if they were. And it's already settled in heaven. But until we speak it in the earth, he can't confirm anything.
So we are the speaking spirits in the earth, because that's why God gave us an earth suit.
Yes.
To be his agents on the earth. And I always like to use this scientific analysis of words. Well, words do have a physical property, because think about this. Scientifically, your words strike an eardrum.
Yes.
So because if they can strike a physical thing, that means they have a physical property. And if they have a physical property, then they can really change things in the physical world. And this is why the devil won't speak in spirits. He wants somebody declaring defeat, declaring disease, declaring doubt, declaring depression. He wants all this stuff, but really we have to be the agents speaking on behalf of heaven. And I love what Paul says, but I am, by the grace of God, what I am. Thank God that I'm an agent who is a speaking spirit on behalf of heaven. It's not because I'm that good, but God's goodness, his grace allocated us to this winning team. So thank God for the winning team, man.
Yeah. And in fact, in Romans, the 10th chapter, it talked about the fact that the word is nigh thee.
Yeah.
And even in their mouth.
In your mouth.
Well, it's in your mouth. Why? So you can speak it out.
Definitely.
And we can't even be saved until we begin to speak it and declare it. You know, if we believe in our heart and confess with our mouth, thou shalt be saved. And so the same other principles apply also with the mouth. Confession is made unto salvation. So one of the things that I realized when I was going to South Carolina, my son that went through the post-traumatic stress, he was stationed in he was at Charleston, South Carolina, at the Citadel. And so I never really paid so much attention to those crosses on the side of the road until I was driving that long distance. Between Greenville, Florida, and South Carolina, Charleston, there's a lot of crosses on the side. That means somebody died there. And so what I started praying ever since then, every time I would see a star, because sometimes I was tired myself, I would say, Lord, I thank you
Yes, sir.
for angels
Yes,
on
sir.
assignment,
Yes, sir.
ascending and descending on my behalf. Angels going before me, angels going before my children, and calling those things that be not as if they were.
Yes, sir.
And so the angels are ministering spirits put here by God. But again, they don't have nothing to do if we don't put them to work.
Activate. You have
Yes,
to
you have to activate it. And so
Activate
one of
by
the
word,
things, I got written in my notes on my study desk is we as children of God have to learn to pray proactively
Say that again,
instead
Pastor.
of
reactively. My God. you got a mouth.
proactively
Proactive
instead of
reactively.
reactively.
Reactive
Yeah.
prayer. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have to pray protection over our schools before the incident. Well, yeah, we come together often after the school shootings and after the fights and after all this stuff, but we need to start the year off, before the year off with prayer. Pray during the school year, pray while the school, after the school year, pray during the summer to set the atmosphere for the next school year.
Yes.
To proactively declare and decree what God has already written in heaven.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because he has not written destruction in that. He's written wholeness and peace. And, and we see this too when Jesus said, thy kingdom come. Thy
Glory.
will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He's
Yeah.
trying to tell us, look, I know what my Father has in alignment for the earth realm, so we need to be proactive with that. We need to activate the plan of God through our prayer. Man, you said a mouthful there.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, God confirmed His word
Yes.
with sign following.
Yes,
In
sir.
fact, even in Mark, it talked about how the disciples went out. They went out, the Lord working with them,
With them.
confirming His word. Now, He
Yeah.
don't confirm me or you, but He confirms His word. And so, anyway, I was just sharing with my wife the other day. We talked about some things that was facing us, or things people was going through, what's happening in the world. And I told her, I said, remember, it wasn't long ago that I told you, I say, honey, I don't know why, but I need to fast.
Okay.
And so I fasted 3 days without food. I drank, but I didn't eat. And finished the fast, went to the annual conference, got reassigned to Mount Zion that Friday night. That Monday, the following Monday, my son, whom I love, named after me, had a meltdown, went to the sheriff's office, bust the window out. The unmarked car bust both windows on the side of the unmarked car, took my hole diggers and dug up a flower, left the hole diggers standing up in the ground. A brand new shovel I had on my bench. He took the brand new shovel, went up to the courthouse annex in Madison, and busted out a window to the courthouse. Courthouse annex, rather. Then went to the courthouse, busted out another window. Yeah. And so anyway, I got a call, Mr. Evans. I was working that evening. Your son had a meltdown. We got him in custody. He's all right.
Okay.
And I was told later on that someone said, police officer, again, we see what's happening out in the street. Someone said that they better be glad that I wasn't on duty. There would have been more glass outside. And someone else said that, you mean he did all of that and you all didn't shoot him?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just talking, and I said to your son that my son now is an honor student
Praise
at
God.
FAMU.
Praise God.
And when I think about the grace of God,
Grace of God.
man, God didn't see. God knew that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
He knew why I needed to fast and stand in the gap and intercede. Yeah, that's my seed.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
so
Yes.
again, when I think about how what we do affect the generation
After us. Yeah.
after us,
Yeah.
then it makes me appreciate the grace of God more, the favor of God more, and the fact of there are consequences
There are. You have
to
pay
everything.
You have to pay the price for what you do.
Yeah.
But still, the grace of God can cover you to a degree. And I'm going to share this. Philippians 1:6. For I am confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will perfect it until the day of Jesus Christ. You don't perfect it, he does.
He does. Yes.
And in those challenges and changes, what you went through with your son, that God showed you that I will perfect this work. This work might have went sideways one way, but I'm going to perfect it. I'm going to show you my grace.
Yes.
In it. And thank God for the grace covering you and your son.
Glory,
man.
glory.
Man. And like I said, we don't do anything to earn this. And that's what I said, the grace that we use, but sometimes we abuse it thinking that God will cover it. The old saying, well, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
And we're expecting God to cover our mess, and we will step out there and do some messy stuff. And expect it. And God is so good that you might not pay the price you should have paid for it.
That's right.
You know, he's really that good. And so we continue to push it, but it gets to the point where when I see these people on WCTV News and National News, I say, you know what? That wasn't your first time.
Yeah.
You know, God's grace will say, okay, listen, we need to clean this up. We need to get this right. We need to do this better. And on that backside of the desert, it's just me and you. Don't nobody need to know. That's it. But now if you continue on and to use the grace for lasciviousness, for nastiness, for a license to do sin, then you're going to really be exposed. So that's the grace we abuse. You've gotten chances to get it right. And whatever you're struggling with today, you got a chance to get it right. Don't nobody need to know. And I think God don't want anybody to know.
That's right.
Because we all have those struggles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. In fact, there's a warning, I think, that comes to all of us. The goodness of God.
Praise God.
And when David, that's one of the things that I read here recently. When David saw Bathsheba, David inquired, who is this?
Who is this?
Somebody told him that is Bathsheba, the wife. That was the warning right there.
Yeah, the wife.
That should have been something that told him to step back. Danger. But David sent and got her and took her. And later on, when Nathan confronted her, and David tried to cover it up.
He sure did.
You know, like
the man to the hottest pot of water. So back and let him get wiped out. And like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. And so when Nathan the prophet finally approached him, he asked him a series of questions. And David said, hey, I sinned. And that's what made David a man after God's own heart. Just recognize that, Lord, I messed up. I didn't handle it right. But Nathan told David, said, the Lord hath forgiven you. You won't die. Nevertheless, now, that nevertheless is a powerful
word. That is a powerful word.
The sword will never depart from your house. And so I think as a father, as a mother, you never want to see your seed suffering for something you didn't have to do.
And that's so important because, you know, and I am now moving in that area where now I have adult children. And for the last couple of days, my wife tell you, for a couple of hours just walking around, shaking my head. She's like, what, baby? I said, adult children. You know, adult children. You train them up, but now they're big enough to be out in the world to make their own decisions.
Yes.
And to face those consequences. And the truth is, even young age, I tried to teach them to pay the cost for their consequences. So that when they get older, they'll understand consequences. And you can't shelter them to the point where you don't let them experience, because, you know, like a child who you tell them about the stove hot. They don't understand hot, but they put their hand on that stove. Oh,
never have to tell them again.
You never have to tell them again. You've been telling them this for years. No, it's hot, baby. It's hot. So until they get it, they ain't gonna get it. But thank God for the grace, because too, our prayer as parents is, okay, the mistakes that they make, don't let them be so detrimental that they never recover from them.
Yeah, yeah.
We understand you're gonna make mistakes, but just don't make a mistake that you cannot recover from. Because the older we get, we better value that. Because the older you get, recovery, man, we can't have enough, too much recovery time.
That's
when
right.
you were young in your 20s, you can recover from anything. But when you get 50, you're like, it's taking my quality of life away.
Oh yes.
And
Yeah, yeah. In fact, one of the things that really did help me. Okay, you're dealing with. We had to deal with the son dealing with the post-traumatic, and then another son. It's hard to explain armed robbery 2 times in 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and you a pastor.
Yeah.
And you are the pharmacist that everybody knows in town. And so what the Lord showed me right away was he handmade Adam and Eve, told them, don't mess with the tree. All these other trees you can have, eat the fruit, but just this one tree.
This one thing.
And what did they do?
They went for the one they weren't supposed to get.
That's right. And so the Lord said, now I handmade these. And so if they missed the mark, who are you? What do you think? And so, and then Cain slew Abel.
Yeah.
These will be God's grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow.
And so that really made me stop beating up myself. And it taught me about grace more fully. God still loves what he made. And so as a father, as a mother, that's your seed.
Yeah. Pastor, you got to, for somebody listening, you got to say that God still loved what he made.
Yes.
And so that is the grace of God, right there. He still loves you with your crazy self. He loved Pastor Young with his crazy self. God still loves you in spite of the sin you made, the mistakes you made, whether you've been in jail, prison, jail, back and forth.
Yes.
He still loves you. That's the grace of God
yes,
that we
yes.
don't earn. And I always go back to his crazy children, the Israelites, because when he came to them, he told them, you know what? I just set my affection on y'all. Y'all wasn't the greatest of people. And if you really with Jefferson County, Madison County version, y'all were crazy as a bedbug.
Yeah.
But I loved y'all, and I just chose to love you. And that, to me, that's that altar love that we don't understand. When we get married and come to the altar, that is a choice. That's not a feeling.
That's right.
You have chosen. Now I understand she looked like a Coke bottle today. She's gonna look like a 2-liter in a couple of years. But I chose to love you, and that type of choice does not change regardless of what you do.
Yes.
How you look, where you go. That love is forever. That's the grace.
Yes.
You know, and then too, going back to Paul, when Paul says, "I am what I am by the grace," even though he got changed from a terrorist to now a terror for hell. He changed to a holy man of God who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament, changed his life around. He still understands that even my change is by his grace. And even though I'm moving forward, I'm going to church now, I'm tithing now, I'm living right, I ain't cussing, I ain't drinking, I ain't doing all this. That's by God's grace as well. Don't puff yourself up so big that you think it's all you. It's not.
No, it's his goodness.
Yes, his goodness.
Yeah. In fact, in 97, the Lord spoke to me, and I'm careful now when I say the Lord spoke to me, but the Lord spoke to me on the way to Pensacola and said, my people still do not understand covenant relationship. And in January this year, I'm married 39 years, and so been faithful to my wife for 39 years. And we just had the conversation about that not long ago. And, you know, she was asking me about faithfulness and why, how I've been committed to her and why I didn't do this or that. I say, well, honey, no matter how we feel about one another right now, we are still in covenant,
Yes, sir.
relationship
Yes, sir.
with you. Even if we don't agree on this particular thing, if you ask me for a glass of water, I'm going, yeah. If you ask me to cook you something, hey, it's there. I say it's not about how we feel about one another. It's about the covenant. And in 2 Chronicles 7:14, everybody know that if my people who are called by my name, but the 6th chapter of 2 Chronicles, the 14th verse says, O God of Israel, there's no God like thee in heaven or earth that keepeth covenant and showeth mercy to thy servant that walk before thee with all their heart. And so I told my wife, I said, when I look at God and his goodness and his mercy, ooh, he is a covenant keeping God. He don't go back. And I say, that's the reason I can't curse folks out. I ain't going to run around. I can't run around. I'm in covenant with him. And so when he asks me to be holy, to live right, then I'm in that same covenant. But when I need him to come to my rescue, when I need him to heal me, when I need him to make a way out of no way, he's in that same covenant. He got to come. Not that you're making him come, but he's in that covenant. And he'll never go back. He can't go back.
Well, people, what a wonderful time in the Word. What a wonderful time with my man, Pastor Charles Evans from Mount Zion A.M.E., Madison, Florida. And listen, we'll be back in 2 weeks to wrap this up. Next week, we're coming back with Miss Joyce Dove from Rotary Youth Camps of North Florida. Again, if you got a disabled child or you know somebody with a disabled child, you will surely be blessed by that rebroadcast. I want you to get that. But again, can't thank my man, Pastor Charles Evans, enough for being in the studio. We're going to wrap it up in 2 weeks. Want you to come back, and I guarantee you it will be wonderful just as it was before. So thank you for tuning in tonight. This is your man, Pastor Eddie Eliana. If you're tuning in later, live or later, whichever one, listen, we're just thankful that you're tuning in, getting the word, getting information, getting what we're putting out there, because we want to make our region better and just want to be a part of what God is doing, and God is doing some great things here. This your man, Pastor Eddie Eliana. I'm out of time, but I'm not out of word. I want to remind you, everywhere we go, let everybody know that the word of God will restore your glory.
The Restoring Your Glory broadcast is recorded at Restored Glory Christian Center in the beautiful city of Monticello, Florida. We invite you to worship with us every Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. or join us on Thursdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for interactive Bible study. For more information, visit our website, restoredglory.org, or our social media pages. On behalf of Pastor Eddie L. Yan, First Lady Veronica Yan, and the Restored Glory family, thank you for joining us. Until next time, let the Word of God restore your glory.
All of this and more. Thank you for your promises, Lord. Your promises never fail. Thank you that you're God who restores your people. Oh, yes, you do. All of this